wizard. Once I prove my worth, then I meet the wizard. What I've waited for since birth, and with all his wizard wisdom, by my looks he won't be blinded. Do you think the wizard is dumb, or like Munchkin so small-minded? No, he'll say to me, I see who you truly are, a girl whom I can rely, and that's how we'll begin, the wizard and I. Once I'm with a wizard, my whole life will change. 'Cause once you're with a wizard, no one thinks you're strange. No father is not proud of you, no sister acts ashamed, and all of us has to love you, and by the wizard you're acclaimed. And this gift or this curse I have inside, maybe at last I'll know why, as we work hand in hand, the wizard and I. And one day he'll say to me, Elphaba, a girl who is so superior, shouldn't a girl who's so good inside have a matching exterior? And since folks here to an absurd degree seem fixated on your verdigris, would it be all right by you if I degreenify you? And though of course that's not important to me, all right, why not? I'll reply, oh, what a pair we'll be, the wizard and I. Yes, what a pair we'll be, the wizard and unlimited. My future is unlimited, and I've just had a vision almost like a prophecy. I know, it sounds truly crazy. True, the vision's hazy, but I swear someday there'll be a celebration throughout Oz. That's all to do with me. And I'll stand there with the wizard, feeling things I've never felt. And though I'd never show it, I'd be so happy I could melt. And so it will be for the rest of my life, and I'll want nothing else till I die, held in such high esteem. When people see me, they will scream, for I'm the boss's favorite team, the wizard and I. Tell them how I am defying gravity. I'm flying high, defying gravity, and soon I'll match them in renown. And nobody in all of Oz, no wizard that there is or was, is ever gonna bring me down. I hope you're happy.
Hello and welcome to Theatre Lounge Live, coming to you direct from the Apollo Victoria Theatre. That, of course, is the home to the current smash hit musical in its 12th year, Wicked. And my name's Mark Curry, and I'm delighted to be joined on stage today by the two current leading ladies. We've got Alice Fearn, who plays Elphaba, and Sophie Evans, who plays Glinda. Welcome to you both. How exciting is this?
I know, amazing.
And what a great way to start the show with Elphaba's first number,
thanks.
The Wizard and I. Beautifully accompanied by the UK music supervisor, James Tracy, over there on the baby grand. For those people who haven't seen Wicked, and if you haven't, where have you been? Just to explain to us what's happening to Elphaba at that time.
It's the first time you really get a gist of who she is. There's an opening scene where you are explained that it's, the Wicked Witch of the West, and you obviously have a pre-idea of what you think the Wicked Witch of the West is, and that song is her first sort of, after about 4 minutes she's been on stage, and you see that she's just a young girl, really, like anyone else at school, and struggling with school, and that she has aspirations and dreams just like anyone else, and she just wants to meet her idol and someone who she thinks will change her life for the better, and so yeah, I think you actually, and all your pre-visions of what she is are gone because you suddenly see someone completely you weren't expecting. She just happens to be green. She's a regular girl, but she just happens to be green.
And of course, Sophie, you're Glinda, and I know how excited you were when you joined the show, and congratulations to you both because you're staying on.
Thank you.
You
Yes,
can
we
do
are.
another year. So these are amazing roles. What's it like to play Glinda?
Amazing, a proper dream come true. I saw this show when I was young and just fell in love with Glinda especially, but the show just blew my mind. I remember the overture was starting and I just bawled my eyes out with my mum, my auntie, my nan, and we just loved it, and it's always had such a special place in my heart, and everyone I talk to that has been to see the show feels the same. So it's so cool to be a part of something so amazing.
Just explain to us a little bit about the story, about the friendship and what happens to you both in the show.
Well, you're looking at the backstory of the two witches that you know from The Wizard of Oz, and so you're looking at the backstory of where they grew up and how they grew up and what they did, and you see that they are thrown into each other's lives through no fault of their own, and no desire of their own either, and from there you see a friendship develop. You see their stories, and you see their journeys and what happens to them as they grow up, and you see eventually that this friendship will outlast all others, really, and how close they actually are, and it's something that you never would have dreamed of. If I didn't, I remember when I first got the script and my dad was reading it and he was just like, I can't believe this. This is what an incredible story to backdrop all of that, and it all fits so perfectly. And so it's their history, really, and how they became who they are. And
it's also a question of what is good and what is evil, because we've got Elphaba, who we all think is evil. We've got gorgeous Glinda, who's very good and perfect and everything, but there's a lot more going on. It really...
And I think that's, in life, nothing's ever as it seems. There's always two sides to every story. Someone can be bad to one person, but can do good for other people. So I love that we've both got both in us, and you see that in the show. I think I'm good, but obviously there's underlying things with me where I'm not so good, and Elphaba's good inside, but has a tendency to lash out.
And there's actions that you do that you think are good that end up resulting in something bad that were with a good intention. So it's just, it's fascinating.
It was a joy for me to be part of this show. I did 1.5 years as the wonderful Wizard of Oz, and I was so lucky to be part of that 10th anniversary cast. And one of the things that always struck me every single show was walking out the stage door and seeing all the fans who'd come from all over the world. The great warmth from all those people.
Yeah, people travel far and wide. It's amazing. Yeah, and it's still loved now. It's great.
Yeah, we've got some people here today.
We have.
And of course, Wicked has just welcomed its 9 millionth visitor to London alone.
Couldn't believe it. They were absolutely made up. They were so cute.
A lovely family came.
So, Sophie, what is it, do you think? What are the magic ingredients of Wicked?
I personally love the music. As I say, when the overture started, when I came, I just remember thinking, this is magical. I feel like I'm involved in something that's spectacular, and it was a spectacle. But the story and the friendship and the fact that it's about female empowerment and how yeah, I get to be next to another leading lady who shares a story with me, and we convey it to an audience that just fall in love with us. And I love that I'm part of something like that. And there's love, there's hate, there's darkness, we've spoke about before. It's just got everything that makes a great success, I think. Yeah.
Well, talking about the fans, we've got some questions from the fans. Robin, first of all, asks, I know, Sophie, you answered this, so Alice, for you, can you remember the first time you ever saw Wicked?
I was actually in a show at the time, and a friend of mine, I didn't see it first when it first came out, because I was in Les Mis, and then I was in another show, and a friend of mine, Gina Beck, got it, and she was playing Glinda, and she said, you must come and see it. You know, I'd been with her in Les Mis, and so I went to see it with her, and so I had a really great sit because she'd got me it, and she, I wasn't expecting it, I think is the best way to describe how my reaction to it. I knew the music. I mean, you know, you had to be living under a rock to not hear the music at that point, because it was just so, it was massive success straight off. And I just wasn't expecting the spectacle, but I also wasn't expecting the story and how perfectly told that story is. And the relationship that is very honest. You know, I don't know what my pre-ideas of it were. Maybe that it was a bit frillier than that. I don't know, you know. But actually, it's incredibly in depth.
Oh, yeah.
And I adored that about it.
Tackling all sorts of issues.
Loads.
And Sophie, you just bawled your eyes out through that first performance.
Honestly,
I
lost my marbles. Yeah, I only saw the first 5 minutes.
She bawled her eyes out at the end of the first night as well. We'll never forget
cry
that.
all the time.
I bet you did.
She got to the end of the first night, and we meet at the back just before we come through for our bow, and I've never seen anyone sobbing more in my life.
My eyelashes.
And then I
my
think
eyebrows.
I said her eyelashes are cut out,
Yeah.
and she said, and I just went, oh my goodness, are you all right? Thinking she'd hurt herself, and she just went, I'm just so happy, and it was beautiful because that is what the show does.
Yeah.
That's
Rachel has asked a very good question. Which is the hardest song to sing?
For
Sophie?
me personally, it's probably Popular because it's so energetic, wordy, fast. There's notes flying everywhere, and you have to do it all with a smile and try not to show how tired you're getting. So I personally, for me, that is the most difficult. Yeah.
And for you, Alice? I mean, everybody presumes it's Defying Gravity.
It's not.
Okay.
Well, not for me anyway, sorry, I should say. It's Wisdom and I, because it's so early and in the show, and it's a massive journey. There's such a build to it. You've got to get a lot of information across to then make sure that everyone's listening to you and getting your character.
Quite contained at the
Yeah,
beginning.
and by the end, and it's got some big notes in it, and when you haven't been running around stage, yes, I've had a warm up and everything, but that first sort of initial, it's a massive song that you have to sort of hit right on the head, and otherwise her character sort of is let down by that, you know. So you have to make sure that you nail that song, and it's so early in the show that I do find that quite the hardest one for definite.
And Sophie has asked, what other character would you like to play, apart from the characters you're playing?
Ooh.
Sophie?
I'd love to go green for a little bit.
Would you?
Yeah, like for one show.
Okay.
Because I don't know if I could do it 8 times a week. I'd take my hat off to you big time. It's just, yeah, it's an awesome part. You get to sing fantastic songs, but gosh, you've got to be a good singer.
Yeah.
And she's all right. So.
And Alice, what about you?
I'd go with Morrible, and you know,
I
I'm
want to play
hoping
Morrible.
if the show's running, you know, in another, let's say 20 years, because I'm hoping I still look really young. I'd totally love to come back and play that, just for the costumes more than anything. Those costumes are to die for.
Absolutely fantastic. I'm in Morrible's dressing room today here.
Yes.
I haven't tried the dresses on
a
yet,
killer.
but just give me 10 minutes. And I believe that we have a very special message now and a question from our friends just across the water.
Hi guys, I'm Jackie.
I'm Kurt.
And Amanda here from the Broadway company of Wicked. We just wanted to fly in and say a quick hello and also ask you a wonderfully Wicked question.
Yeah, well, it's actually a two-part question. So, we all know that the Wicked global fan base is incredibly huge. So, what do you love most about Wicked fans? And what is your favorite Wicked fan story that you've come across?
We're sending you lots of love and best wishes from across the pond.
Oh my gosh, I'm such a Jackie fan. She looks unbelievable. That's amazing. So yeah, I think the fact, well, I've been in the business like 12, 13 years now, and I've never known fans like it. They are incredibly loyal, incredibly supportive. And they travel from far and wide to come and see various different shows. And I also love that they're supportive of everyone playing in that. They're not just supportive of the Elphaba and the Glinda, they're supportive of everyone covering those parts, of the ensemble, of absolutely everyone involved in it. They will come and see people just because they're on for the first time, and not to judge them, to support them and go, that's a new take, that's you know, she's fresh out, and they know it's a massive achievement to be able to do it. So that's, you know, I've never experienced that anywhere else, and I think that's what I love the most about them.
Have you got a particular fan story?
Yeah, kind of. I feel very lucky to see people at stage door that I've seen, say, 6 years ago in a different show that I was in, and they come along and show me pictures of us together when we were younger, and now they still support me, and they say, I love Wicked and I love that you're in Wicked. So bringing people to the show that I knew when I was 16, 17, I find that magical.
Yeah.
Really.
And all the cakes that are baked for people, even
Oh,
for the old wizard. Even the old wizard gets a bit of cake baked for him sometimes from fans, and you know, little models of what you're wearing.
They are so loyal, and
Yeah.
honestly, and we get to know people's faces, and it's lovely. It's really nice.
And they become little communities themselves, which is great as well. They all know each other, and that's lovely to see.
We've got some live questions coming in, so thank you to everybody who's tuning in right now on Theatre Lounge Live. And first of all, Christopher asks, what is it like being in the show?
Definitely a word that I think we've used before is magical, and we never take it for granted. You know, the moments that we have and what we're doing every night is really special and might never be equalled in terms of its gravitas. And you know, I never underestimate the importance of certain sections of the show, and definitely Defying Gravity. You know, the fact that I get to do that every single night is
it's quite
a real
interesting
honour,
here, because in
actually.
brackets it says he's also said, do you get tired?
Yeah, it is tiring, but it's tiring in a brilliant way, because you're giving so much of yourself, and you're making sure these characters are told correctly and given the weight that they deserve and that the audience deserves to see. So yeah, that's tiring, but if we weren't tired at the end of it, I think that would be
We
wouldn't be doing our jobs properly, because they're parts that deserve that level of stamina and that level of giving to the audience.
Ricardo has asked an interesting question. He wants to know your routine for the day. How you prepare, when you eat, all that stuff. That's fascinating.
Yeah, you do everything. For me personally, everything I do in the day, I'll have a thought in my mind. How will this affect me this evening? I make sure I eat well. Sleep is so important to me. I drink water like I'm a fish, and just keeping as healthy as you can. But I also try not to get any rituals or routines, because as soon as you've got something, the moment you're not able to do that, you might think, oh, I can't do the show properly tonight. So I don't, you know, I'm pretty chilled. I brush my teeth before the show, but that's more for everyone else. Yeah.
One thing I remember about you, because you were stepping in and out of playing Elphaba when I was doing it, and you always seemed so laid back and so cool about it. But is there a lot of stuff going on?
No, I try and live life a little bit like that, a little bit laid back. So, and I think it helps with this part. It's massive, and if you get into your head and get into yourself that you need to do certain things, then you'll just be, you know, I think that will make it it will make it difficult. The only thing that I say that I do that's sort of ritualistic is that in the interval I have a hot drink. Because I've just done a massive act and it's ended with Defying Gravity, and so I've sung a lot, and a hot drink is like a warm hug.
And I have a banana.
Dear.
There we are.
Yeah.
So it's the only
Magical
thing
fruit.
that I sort of do. But yeah, I try and keep calm and collected, because I think that helps with me getting through the show, actually. I think that's the best thing to think about if anyone taking on as Elphaba.
Robin has asked, do you both work out?
How this is really embarrassing.
I think the pause said
all
everything.
the time. I do yoga,
Gym, 8
spin
a.m.
class.
She sleeps a lot. She sleeps.
No, we sleep until
honestly, you don't do
10, and that's it, and then see you later.
I don't know if I could. I think it'd be a great thing to do, but I think initially the thought of me exercising for a week. I did a leg session once before show.
And
I couldn't
that
walk.
was my funniest. That was my funniest
horrific.
time of my life.
I didn't realise how much I actually bend down in the show.
And there was one moment where, just under her breath, when she got up from the ground, she just went, oh. Like that,
See?
and it was hilarious.
It's not worth it.
The only thing we do have to make sure that we're rolled. We call it rolled out, so our muscles, because we can get quite tight because we're on a rake and what have you. So you've just got to make sure that is so your muscles are all relaxed and that you're stretching for the show. But in terms of going for a spin session, I mean, I ain't got the energy.
Hats off.
You've got to save all your energy for this show. This is a workout. This show is
That is
definitely
our
a workout. Well, I mentioned that you're both staying on, and Sophie, for you, it's going to be quite tricky because this has been your first year. You were so excited. You've obviously made great mates with people in the cast, and some of them will be leaving.
Yeah.
Mixed emotions a little bit about that?
Absolutely mixed emotions. I'm losing a lot of my really good friends, and that'll be strange because there's things you do backstage, not rituals, but I see people at certain parts of the show and they won't be there anymore. But I'm also a really friendly person. I love making friends. I can't wait to welcome the new people who are coming in, and I know they're going to bring a freshness and an energy that maybe will be fantastic. And I can't wait to meet new Fiero. We're excited about that, and sad to be leaving Bradley's leaving, but it's the way it goes, and I think it's going to be a really exciting year.
Yeah. Lots to look forward to.
Yeah, loads.
Well, it's just been great to have you here today, and you're not finished yet because we are going to have another performance from the girls, but that's about all the time that we've got today. We have to thank everybody for tuning into official London Theatre's Theatre Lounge Live. Thank you to our friends on Broadway, of course, the American Theatre Wing. Thank you to everybody here at the Apollo Theatre Victoria. Thanks to James Dracy, the UK music supervisor of Wicked. And, of course, a massive thank you to all the fans and all the people who come and see the show, because without you, there'd be no Wicked. And a massive thank you to you too. And to play us out, here they are, Alice Fearn and Sophie Evans, with a beautiful rendition of For Good.
I've heard it said that people come into our lives for a reason, bringing something we must learn, and we are led to those who help us most to grow if we let them, and we help them in return. Well, I don't know if I believe that's true, but I know I'm who I am today because I knew you. Like a comet pulled from orbit as it passes a sun, like a stream that meets a boulder halfway through the wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? But because I knew you, I have been changed for good. It well may be that we will never meet again in this lifetime, so let me say before we part, so much of me is made from what I've learned from you. You'll be with me like a handprint on my heart, and now whatever way our stories end, I know you have rewritten mine by being my friend. Like a ship blown from its mooring, I wend off the sea, like a seed dropped by a skybird in a distant wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? But because I knew you, because I knew you, I have been changed for good. And just to clear the air, I ask forgiveness for the things I've done you blame me for. But then I guess we know there's blame to share, and none of it seems to matter anymore. Like a comet moving orbit as it passes us by window, like a stream that meets a boulder halfway through the wood. Who can say if I've been changed you.